Pleasant morning to each and everyone. My name is Jame Cruz from BS Ed major in English 1A. So today I will discuss all about what is monitoring. So, what comes in your mind when you heard monitoring? Yeah. So today I will discuss what is monitoring. Monitoring is used to assess the performance of project, institution, and programs set by the government, international organization, and NGOs. It goes to improve the current future management of outputs, outcomes, and the impact. Did you know that monitoring has several types? So, for today's video, I will discuss what are the types of monitoring. First of all, the process monitoring or physical progress monitoring. In process monitoring, routine data is collected and analyzed in order to establish whether the project tasks and activities are leading towards intended project of result. It authenticates the progress of a project towards an intended result. This kind of monitoring measures the inputs, activities, and outputs in order the words for monitoring answers and the questions. What has been done so far? Where, when, and how it has been done. Most of the data collected during project implementation usually that kinds of monitoring. Additional information, monitoring is a systematic process of collecting, analyzing, and using information to track programs. Progress towards rehang its objective and guide management discussion. Monitoring usually focuses on processes such as when and where activities occur, who diverse them, on how many people, entities may research monitoring and conducted after program has been begun continues throughout the programs of implementation period. Monitoring is sometimes referred as a project performance or formative evaluation. Next one is the assumption monitoring. Any project has its working assumptions which have to be clearly outlined and project long frame. These assumptions are those factors which might determine project assessments and failure, but which the project has no cover assumptions. Monitoring involves measuring and factors which internally and external the project. It is important to carry a assumption monitoring as may help to explain success or failure on a project. May example, a project was promoting but use of compensative may realize that uptake is use of compensative has dropped. The drop is use of compensative could however be attributed to increased taxations and importance of compensative in country which made them more expensive rather than the project failure. The financial monitoring. Just like name suggested, financial monitoring simply refers to a monitoring project program, expenditure, and comparing them with the budgets prepared at the planning stage. The use of funds and disposal of a program of a project is crucial for ensuring there are no expenses and wages. Financial monitoring is also important for accountability, for reporting process, and for a well-measured financial efficiency that the maximizations of outputs with minimal inputs. Lastly, the impact monitoring. Impact monitoring is a type of monitoring which continuously assesses the impacts of project activities to the target population in need impacts of usual the long-term effects of project. However, the project with a long life span as a program have been no defined timeline. There are ranges of measuring impacts change in order whether the general conditions of intended beneficiaries and improvement the otherwise in the case and manager monitors the impact through the predetermined of impact monitoring.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. My topic is about evaluation. Before I am going to discuss further about the topic, allow me first to introduce my name. So, hello everyone. Good afternoon once again. I am Demer Sigba from BS Ed English 1A. And just for the disclaimer, I'm not good at discussing or explaining something, so whatever comes in my mouth, it is based on my own perceptions. So don't judge me because we all know that nobody's perfect. So without further ado, let's start to our discussion. So let me ask you this question. When you hear the word evaluation, what comes into your mind? Any opinion? Okay, so the word evaluation, by its definition, it is the process of effectiveness services which the agencies are set out to achieve it. So, it is a process na magagamit natin effectively in all instances. And also, yung mga expectation natin about evaluation, unti-unti siyang na-achieve. So there are a lot of instances that evaluation can be done or can be used. Let's say, for example, evaluation can be done after the activity or the events. So here's the thing. For instance, as a teacher and as a member of LTS or Literary Training Services, we are planning to have a webinar with this particular topic. So you are expected to attend it because it is for your goods, it is for your learnings, and or even it is for your awareness. So for you to know, evaluation can be disseminating after the webinar. In that evaluation, you are expected to answer the questions based on your understanding, based on your learnings from the topic during the webinar, without copying from Google, without doing research, because I know and I believe that you guys have knowledge on it, and I believe that you can do it. Another examples. As a teacher also, I will reviews all your papers or activities in order for you to have a grades. In order for me also to give you a deserving grades, because it is your effort. It is your activities. Additionally, the values of evaluation is first seeing the success of program or project implementing rather. So doon na yung pumapasok na nag-success talaga siya yung pag-evaluate. And the second one is assessing the weaknesses. So yung mga sa pag-evaluate din, nandun din yung mga weaknesses, hindi talaga yan siya maiwasan. Nandun din na, I think diyan na din pumapasok yung mga barrier, yung which is yung mga hindi inaasahang pangyayari sa pag-evaluate. And last is to clarifying kung anong mga dapat na i-change, yung mga kailangan na i-change, tapos i-strengthen yun siya and make it better para sa next na namang activity or next events. So, para wala nang barrier, wala nang weaknesses. I know na hindi maiwasan, pero if we do good works, then it is impossible na may mga barriers or may mga weaknesses sa pag-evaluate. So I think that would be all, guys. Thank you for listening. And I hope that you get something or you have learned from this discussion. Thank you for listening once again. Good afternoon.
So good day, my name is Sherina Ubag and today I am going to tackle about classification of evaluation. So first, we have participatory evaluation. It is a process of involving participants in a program to reflect critically on their own project, programs, aims, and leadership. It is a participant-centered evaluation. So what is the purpose of participatory evaluation? Participatory evaluation can help program improve by first, involving key stakeholders in evaluation design and decision making. Second, acknowledging and addressing symmetrical levels of power and voice among stakeholders. Third, using multiple and varied methods. Fourth, having an action component so that evaluation findings are useful to the programs and user. So what is the advantage of doing participatory evaluation? So the advantage of doing participatory evaluation are first, identify locally relevant evaluation questions. Second, improve accuracy and relevance of reports. Third, establish and explain causality. Fourth, improve program and performance. And lastly, empower participants. So, challenges in implementing and using participatory evaluation. First, time and commitment. Second, resources. Third, conflicts between approaches. And lastly, unclear purpose of participation or a purpose that is not aligned with evaluation design. So the second classification is non-participatory evaluation. So it is done by non-participating parties, usually the disinterested person. If evaluation is biased, then it does not reflect or give the real evaluative results. It involves observing participants without actively participating. This option used to understand phenomenon by entering the community of social system involved while staying separate from the activities being observed. Non-participatory evaluation is often used in tangent with other data collection methods and can offer a more nuanced and dynamic appreciation of situation that cannot be easily captured through other methods.
A pleasant morning. I'm Jonalyn Pascual and I will be discussing the two kinds of evaluation. So, we already heard about the classification of evaluation. For further knowledge about evaluation, let us now identify the two kinds of evaluation. So, these are the two kinds of evaluation: the ongoing evaluation and the concluding evaluation. First is the ongoing evaluation. It is the kind of evaluation methodology aiming at facilitation and learning during the process rather than at ex post during the projects and programmers. And this kind of evaluation assesses how well the interventions are being implemented to determine what inventions have actually been delivered to whom and when. In this kind of evaluation, we aim to provide an opportunity to make any changes and gives ongoing feedback to the trainer. It also gives the participants an opportunity to integrate what they have learned and identifying whenever participants learn from the workshop and enjoy themselves. Second is the concluding evaluation. This is the final evaluation. It is essential to evaluate a workshop or a program at its end. This kind of evaluation facilitated at the end of a program or discussion. It refers to evaluate participants to recognize their weaknesses and for instructions, to understand where they have excelled and where improvements is needed when holding the program.
Good day everyone, my name is Helen Tagbar and I will discuss to you about the methods of evaluation. So first, let us define what is the method evaluation. Methods evaluation are the criteria for evaluating the success of a program or a project. So these methods of evaluation is always using in the research. And evaluation methods allow the donor a way to know if you've achieved your goals or objects. So we have the types of methods of evaluation. We have the written evaluation, the informal oral evaluation, the structured interview, the group discussion method, the observation, the survey methods, and that's all. So, what first thing in your mind, what is the written evaluation mean? So, evaluating writing is a type of writing intended to judge something according to a set of a criteria. For instance, your health might be evaluated by insurance company before insuring a policy. The purpose of this evaluation will be determine your overall health had to check for exacting medical condition. So, in Tagalog, example, you had a sick and you need to see a doctor to evaluate what kind of sick you have. Ganun po yung meaning ng written evaluation. So, the doctor will be consult you like a paper and to what will you take a medicine? What kind of do you take the medicine? So, that's it. So the second one is the informal oral evaluation. So what is an informal evaluation? An informal evaluation is a method of evaluation where the instructor tests participant knowledge using no standard criteria or rubric. This means that there is no spelled out evaluate grade guide. So here are the example of informal oral evaluation is the exit slips. What's that mean? So get kids in the habit of knowing they will be expected to fill out exit slips that follow the same format every time. The one thing is the informal oral evaluation is the demonstration. So how you demonstrate the informal how you demonstrate your answers in your teacher or in the research. So that's one the informal oral evaluation. The third one is the structured interview. So what is the structured interview? The structured interview is a systematic approach to interviewing where you ask the same predetermined question to all candidates in the same order and you rate them with the standard scoring system. So this method is almost twice as effective as the traditional interviewing. So these structured interview is the how example the panelists will rate you how you deliver your speech, your how you elaborate your research in the so the panelists will grade you as a system, and that's what we call the structured interview. Okay, so the group discussion method. So the what is the group discussion method? So the group discussion method is the how you brainstorming your group friends, or example your teacher asks you to group your friends and elaborate some things, so you need to brainstorming for us to help and to manage what is the what your what do you call that, okay, to brainstorming for us what to know what's your on your mind, so for us to let us know what's sharing some good ideas or your opinions. Observation. So what is observation in methods in evaluation? Observation is the active addition. Observation. So what is observation in evaluation methods? So observation is the active acquisition of information from primary source in living beings. Observation employs the senses. In science, observation can also involve the perception and recording of data via the use of scientific instruments. The term may be also referred to any data collected during the scientific activity. So these observation in methods of evaluation, these for instance, the panelists observe how you deliver your answers or how you depend your research. So this is the example of observation. So what are the examples of observation? So example, a doctor watching a patient after administering an injection. So that's the number one of observation. Number two, the astronomer looking at the night sky and recording data regarding the movement and brightness of the objects he sees. So that's the two observation. Number three, a zoologist watching lions in a den after prey is introduced to determine the swiftness of the animal's response. So that's the observations it means. So again, we have we have the examples of methods of evaluation. So let's start from let's begin the survey methods in evaluation. So the survey methods evaluation can be efficient way to collect information from substantial numbers of people. In order to answer evaluation research question, typically surveys strive to collect information from a simple portion of a broader population. So many of us know what is survey because it is what do you call the term? It is because in the research we always to do the surveys questionnaires to able to know what is the correspondence and the opinions of the students. So, what are the three surveys methods? So we have the most research can be divided into three different categories. We have the exploratory, descriptive, and the casual. Each serves a different end purposes and can only be used in certain ways. And the last one is this case study in the methods of evaluation. This case study is an evaluation method. It means of learning about a complex instance based on a comprehensive understanding of that instance obtained through extensive description and analysis of that instance taken as whole as in its context. So the case studies, this is the important in research or the methods in evaluation because the research designs that focused on understanding a unit in its context which can use a combination of qualitative and quantitative results. So, the evaluation methods, we if you able to understand, the last one is you need to make a slide or a PowerPoint and you need to put some pictures to able to understand the students so that to able to understand and to determine what the methods of evaluation means. And that's all.